Now on the DA announcing there will be no charges against the deputies involved in the shooting death of Andrew Brown Jr. in North Carolina. BNC's Ashley Martinez reports on the additional body cam footage released yesterday.
New body camera footage released Tuesday of the day Andrew Brown Jr. was killed by sheriff deputies in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. District Attorney Andrew Womble said deputies clearly identified themselves to Brown, that Brown refused orders to stop and drove his car directly toward one of the officers.
Based upon my review of the facts of this case, I have determined that the shooting of Andrew Brown on April 21st, 2021 was justified to protect the safety and lives of the deputies on the scene.
I did not agree with what the district attorney described as to what was happening in the video at all.
An attorney for Brown's family says they don't agree with Womble's results and disapprove of him investigating his own officers.
It's very unlikely that he is a disinterested, impartial, independent person in investigating whether or not these officers violated the law when they executed those search warrants and ended up killing Andrew Brown Jr.
The body cam footage showed armed Pasquotank County Sheriff deputies arrived to arrest Brown as he sat inside his vehicle. The 42-year-old reverses his car into a corner. Deputies move on foot to surround him. Boxed in, Brown then accelerates forward in an attempt to flee, forcing a deputy to jump out of the way. Womble said Brown's actions caused officers to believe it was necessary to use deadly force.
The deputies who fired the fatal shots perceived an actual and apparent threat, evaluated the situation in seconds, decided, and acted. The deputies' actions appear reasonable under all the circumstances of the case. The deputies faced both actual danger and apparent danger as perceived by them on the scene.
Attorney Wayne Kendall says the Brown family will continue fighting for justice.
That was Ashley Martinez reporting. You wonder if he is the DA or the defense attorney there. Joining us now to talk about this case is our legal expert, Candace Kelley. Candace, good morning. I still got a lot of questions because this is very confusing once again. My first thing is, if Womble is saying that this shooting, this killing is justified, why not be transparent fully now? Because from what I understand, the reason they weren't releasing the body footage camera was because it could be prejudicial against the deputies in the case. But if there is not going to be a case, why not just show the whole thing?
Exactly. And you know, Mike, this is what people are saying. For all practical purposes, this is a case that is closed. Therefore, we don't need the judge's permission to release video. You are not going to make a jury non-impartial, as you said. So why not release it? What is missing on this recording? And that's the question that a lot of people have. For now, it doesn't make sense. People don't have the answers that they want. But certainly the family, the attorneys, and people are still on the streets fighting for those answers and ultimately the release of this recording.
So, Candace, this district attorney selectively released portions, again, declining to release the full footage, even though the investigation, in his view, why discretion is over. At one point, the DA said the shooting was justified because one of the officers on the scene was caused to travel across the hood of the vehicle. But we didn't see that. We saw perhaps it was a left hand brush to the hood of it. And we know, according to the family autopsy, the kill shot to the back of Mr. Brown's brain comes as he's driving away. What is the law here? Now that the DA's ruled in, what's the law about when they can shoot to kill a fleeing suspect?
Well, there's so many contradictions here. First of all, the Attorney General, when they talk about reasonable force, which is kind of the undercurrent of what he was saying, that they use reasonable deadly force because they felt that their lives were in danger and that this car was used as a deadly weapon and that this car was driven recklessly. So his whole argument, the DA's, Andrew Womble, saying, listen, we thought that our officers were going to die and therefore it's justified. But we have seen the video. This is a car that is driving away from the action, not even in order to hit police, but the police officers were in the way, jumping in front, and therefore they got hit. Of course, the DA has a different interpretation of that, but the reasonable force standard is what you heard about yesterday in the press conference, and we're going to be hearing more of that. But was it reasonable? The back of the head of a fleeing car, that is not a workable situation, which is why the DA talked about these officers getting retrained, which is interesting that he talked about both things at the same press conference.
Yeah, on that note, retrain, disciplinary actions, but no charges, nothing against the officers whatsoever. That really doesn't add up, to be quite honest with you. And from the 44 seconds that we did see, in your opinion, Candace, let's put you in the position of a district attorney right now. Did that make more of a case for the officers or more for the Brown family from what you saw? And it's the 44 seconds that Womble wanted you to see. Let's remember that.
Yeah, it was the 44 seconds that Womble wanted us to see. But if we were in a court of law, the Brown family attorney would be saying, which way is that car going? Why did he back up? And why were the officers in the trajectory of the car? It wasn't because Brown was trying to get the police officers. If that was the case, he would have backed up even more, tried again. In fact, the family is making the argument that there were just a couple of officers that were shooting, and there were several officers that didn't shoot, which means that not everybody at the scene thought that their life was in jeopardy. So that would be the case that I would make if I was defending the Brown attorney. There's too much evidence to point to the fact that he was just trying to get away and flee. Someone who, on record, in terms of what the police understood, didn't have or probably didn't have a weapon himself. And at the end of the day, we found out that indeed was the case. No weapon.
Yeah, and those three officers about to retain their jobs there. So is this it, Candace? Is that it from the local level? Is that all we can do? Womble makes this decision. There's nothing that can be done about it on the local level. I know there's a federal case that's pending, an investigation that's going on right now.
Locally, this is it. I mean, the case is closed. We had the governor that asked for a special prosecutor. That's what the family has been talking about. Let's get rid of these entanglements. We think there's some bias here, but nobody responded to the governor to get a special prosecutor. So we're here now that the case is actually closed, showing and reminding people really the discretion that a district attorney has, right? Because they can open a case, they can close a case, they can decide guidelines, they can decide plea bargaining. So much is in their power. He used it, and this case on a local level is indeed closed.
The FBI, Candace, the civil rights probe, we know that was opened. The family's calling for an immediate intervention by the Justice Department. I mean, I know we just asked it, but this can't be the end-all, be-all here, correct? I mean, don't, in the interest of transparency, can it be forced more?
On a federal level, yes, they're going to look to see if there are any federal civil rights violations. They started that on April 27th in terms of opening up that case to determine this. And we've seen this happening in terms of other FBI and federal investigations that are going on in other cases. The family can only hope that that is what will stick, because that's all that they have left there. Were this man's constitutional rights violated? And that's what the FBI is going to be looking at. And the governor wants to send, who called with a special prosecutor, is saying, look, all we have now is just the hopes that the FBI will do the job that they're supposed to do in order to make sure that justice is carried out in this case. Deja vu, right? We have been here before. We will be here again. But hopefully, we will get some justice. Let's hope that that Chauvin verdict really did create a precedent from here on. So far, it's not feeling good as the protesters that are out there, but we do have something in our back pockets.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very combative, defiant DA as he was challenged by these reporters. And it's interesting because as members of the family's counsel have put it, whitewash was the term. And I don't know why, but I was looking it up. A deliberate concealment of someone's mistakes or faults in order to clear their name. And it just seems like we can't say emphatically that's it, but if that doesn't sum up how people are feeling this morning.
And like you
Kelley.
said, yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Candace. No,
I was going to mention that, like you said, he was very, very emphatic. This is not a man who is going to change his mind. He was clear. Yeah. This is it. This is my decision. Case closed.
Yeah, who does he work for?
Certainly was.
Who does he work with?
Yeah, who's he work
Those
for? Yeah, whose office is in the same building as the same sheriff's department deputies and the like he's investigating. But we've talked about that before, Candace. We're going to keep talking about it, though. 7 o'clock, we'll look into just how much discretion the district attorneys have in the United States and how it needs to change. We can all at least agree to that. Thank you, Candace. We'll see you in a bit.